What if I told you there's a single food that not only contains more protein than eggs, but also helps reverse muscle loss as you age? Faster than most supplements or gym routines, this food is often overlooked, yet it holds a secret that could be the difference between aging with strength and independence or falling victim to something called sarcopenia, the age loss of muscle mass and strength. Now, sarcopenia isn't just about weak legs or flabby arms. It's one of the biggest reasons people lose mobility, balance, and even independence as they age. And it starts earlier than most think, often in your 40s or 50s, not 70s. But here's the good news. Muscle loss is not inevitable. It's not just part of aging. It's a metabolic condition driven by poor protein absorption, blood sugar spikes, high cortisol, and chronic inflammation. In short, it's something you can absolutely reverse naturally without drugs if you know how. And the food we're talking about today, it's not eggs, not steak, not whey protein. It's something even more powerful for muscle regeneration, especially in people over 50. But before I reveal that food, let's talk about what's really going on inside your body when muscle starts to shrink. Even if you're eating healthy, because here's the truth, you can eat a high-protein diet and still lose muscle if your digestion, hormones, and insulin sensitivity aren't optimized. This is why so many people go on high-protein diets and still struggle with flabby arms, declining leg strength, and slow recovery. What the research shows is that protein quality, digestibility, and anabolic signaling matter more than raw grams. And certain foods, especially one I'll show you today, are rich in leucine, the amino acid that directly signals muscle protein synthesis. In today's video, I'll break down why this one overlooked food beats eggs for muscle repair, and how to use it effectively, how your liver, insulin, and cortisol levels determine whether protein builds muscle or gets wasted, the real reason seniors lose muscle even when they eat enough protein, and how to fix it, the best timing and combinations to maximize muscle growth while you sleep, a simple daily protocol to activate mTOR without spiking insulin or storing fat. If you're over 40 and want to stay strong, energized, and independent for decades to come, this information could change the way you eat forever. And if you're serious about your health, be sure to subscribe. I share science-backed content like this daily, all focused on restoring energy, metabolism, and strength naturally. Let's get into it. Let's start with a question everyone's asking. What food has more protein than eggs and helps reverse sarcopenia faster? It's collagen-rich bone broth protein, specifically hydrolyzed, grass-fed bone broth powder. Now you might be thinking, bone broth, isn't that just for gut health? But what most people don't realize is that bone broth protein isn't just rich in amino acids. It's rich in the exact amino acids your muscles, tendons, ligaments, and connective tissues need to rebuild. Here's the comparison. A large egg has about 6 grams of protein. Complete, yes, but primarily geared toward growth in the context of a chick. Bone broth protein, on the other hand, delivers 15 to 20 grams per scoop. And more importantly, it's rich in glycine, proline, hydroxyproline, and arginine, amino acids that fuel tissue regeneration at the cellular level. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your muscles like a building. Protein is the brick, but collagen amino acids, they're the mortar, what holds the structure together. Without the mortar, your muscle bricks can't stay functional, strong, or connected to tendons and ligaments. This is why people over 50 often feel weak, even when they're eating enough protein. They're missing the connective matrix that gives muscle its structure and strength. And what the research shows is that collagen peptides, when combined with even mild resistance exercise, significantly improve muscle mass and strength in older adults, often more effectively than traditional whey or egg protein. One 2015 study published in the British Journal of Nutrition showed that older men who supplemented with collagen peptides while performing light resistance training gained more lean body mass and muscle strength than those who used placebo. That's huge. Now, why does this work better? Because as you age, your stomach acid drops, your liver becomes less efficient at converting amino acids, and your tissues become less responsive to insulin, all of which impair protein utilization. Bone broth protein is pre-hydrolyzed, meaning it's already broken down into small peptides, making it incredibly easy to digest and absorb, even if your digestion isn't optimal. Plus, it contains very low levels of methionine and high levels of glycine, which has been shown to support longevity by balancing methylation and reducing inflammation. So you're not just building muscle, you're also turning off the inflammatory processes that accelerate muscle breakdown. And here's where it gets really powerful. Bone broth protein doesn't spike insulin like some other protein powders. That means you can consume it during fasting windows or before bed without disrupting fat burning or autophagy. So here's a simple protocol you can start using right away. 1 scoop, 15 to 20 Gs of grass-fed bone broth protein daily. Mix it in warm water or blend with MCT oil and cinnamon for a deeper metabolic benefit. Take it in the evening or post-exercise to maximize recovery and muscle synthesis. If this is helpful so far, consider subscribe. I post content like this every day, all designed to help you take control of your metabolism, energy, and longevity using simple, science-backed tools. Why muscle loss is not about age, and how hormones, digestion, and liver function secretly block protein from doing its job. Most people think muscle loss just happens with age, but that's not the real story. Here's what's really going on inside your body. As we age, our hormones, digestion, and liver function change, and those changes affect how well we absorb and use the protein we eat. Let me break this down with a simple analogy. Imagine you're feeding a construction crew to rebuild your house. You've got plenty of bricks, protein, but the workers, your enzymes and hormones, are either missing or half asleep. The food's there, but the house never gets rebuilt. That's what's happening with sarcopenia. Let's start with digestion. As early as age 40, stomach acid production starts to drop. You may not feel it, but low stomach acid means you're not breaking down protein into amino acids efficiently. Even if you're eating enough, your body can't extract what it needs. And undigested protein leads to bloating, gas, and inflammation, all of which further impair nutrient absorption. On top of that, your pancreas may be producing less digestive enzymes, especially lipase and protease. This reduces your body's ability to metabolize fats and proteins, which is why many people feel tired or heavy after eating meat as they age. But again, this isn't a problem with meat, it's a digestion problem. Now, let's talk about hormones. Cortisol, your stress hormone, increases as you age, especially if you're not sleeping deeply or living under chronic stress. And elevated cortisol is catabolic. That means it breaks down muscle tissue, especially in the legs and glutes, which are large muscle groups tied to balance and mobility. At the same time, your insulin sensitivity decreases, meaning your cells don't respond well to insulin, even with a normal diet. This causes two things. You can't shuttle amino acids into muscle as efficiently. You store more body fat while losing lean mass, the classic skinny fat body type in aging adult. But here's the twist. Insulin isn't just about carbs. Excess protein, especially in the wrong metabolic context, can also spike insulin and block fat burning. That's why the type and timing of protein matters so much, and why collagen-based sources like bone broth are superior. Low insulin impact, high absorption, and anti-inflammatory. Let's not forget the liver, the master organ of metabolism. Your liver converts amino acids into usable fuel, builds enzymes, and regulates blood sugar. If it's burdened by toxins, processed foods, or too much fructose, it slows down, and that impacts every system, including muscle growth. So what can you do? Here are 3 simple fixes. Take betaine HCl or apple cider vinegar with protein meals to boost stomach acid and absorption. Reduce cortisol naturally by getting sunlight in the morning, avoiding screens at night, and keeping blood sugar stable throughout the day. Support your liver with choline-rich foods like eggs, leafy greens, and beets, or consider milk thistle and dandelion root tea as natural support. The key takeaway is this. Muscle loss isn't about getting older, it's about losing your metabolic flexibility. And once you fix digestion, hormones, and the liver, your body can finally start rebuilding itself again. Now, we'll unlock the muscle building switch inside your body, the one amino acid that drives growth faster than any other, and how to activate it naturally without storing fat. Now that you understand how hormones and digestion impact muscle growth, let's talk about the spark plug of muscle building, the amino acid called leucine. Leucine is one of the 9 essential amino acids, meaning your body can't produce it. You have to get it from food. But leucine isn't just another building block. It's the trigger that tells your body to build muscle. Think of it like the ignition key for a car. Without it, the engine doesn't start, no matter how much fuel is in the tank. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Leucine activates a powerful metabolic pathway called mTOR, short for mechanistic target of rapamycin. mTOR is your body's internal signal to start synthesizing muscle protein. When leucine levels are high enough, mTOR gets flipped on, and your body shifts into an anabolic mode, meaning it starts to build rather than break down tissue. But here's the problem. As we age, your muscle tissue becomes less sensitive to leucine. This is called anabolic resistance, and it's one of the major drivers of sarcopenia. Older adults need more leucine to activate the same muscle building response that younger people get from a small amount. So if you're over 50 and still relying on 10 or 15 grams of random protein, you may not even be hitting the threshold to stimulate muscle repair. What the research shows is that the minimum leucine threshold for older adults is around 2.5 to 3 grams per meal. That's the amount required to activate mTOR and trigger meaningful protein synthesis. For context, one egg contains just 0.5 grams of leucine. That means you'd need 5 to 6 eggs just to reach that threshold. And even then, it depends on your digestion and insulin sensitivity. This is where bone broth protein, collagen blends, or even leucine-rich foods like grass-fed beef, turkey, or fermented soy like tempeh come into play. But we can go further. If you want to really activate muscle growth, here's a science-backed protocol. Eat a leucine-rich meal or shake within 30 minutes of resistance training. This is when your body is most sensitive to amino acids, and it helps bypass age anabolic resistance. Include 3 to 4 Oz of grass-fed beef, or 1 scoop of high-quality bone broth protein, or 2 scoops of collagen peptides plus added leucine or glycine. Pair with about 5 to 10 g of healthy fats like olive oil or MCT to slow the absorption just enough for sustained availability. One study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that a leucine-enriched essential amino acid supplement improved muscle mass and strength in elderly individuals, even without intense exercise. That's how powerful leucine is. Now, does that mean you should start chugging leucine powders? Not exactly. Leucine works best in context, with the right digestive support, stable blood sugar, and enough resistance stimulus. Think of it as part of a system, not a silver bullet. And this is why bone broth protein is so effective. Not only does it contain leucine and glycine, it comes pre-digested, supports your gut lining, and doesn't spike insulin. That's a powerful combination. If you're finding this breakdown helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe. We go deep on how to use food, science, and metabolism to rebuild strength naturally. Now, we'll talk about timing, because when you eat, your protein is just as important as what you eat, especially if you want to build muscle while you sleep. If you're eating the right kind of protein, but still not seeing results, there's a good chance you're missing the timing window, and that's just as critical as the food itself. Let's go back to the basics of physiology for a second. Your body doesn't grow muscle when you're working out. It grows muscle when you're recovering, especially during deep sleep, when human growth hormone, HGH, peaks and your body is in full repair mode. But to fuel that overnight rebuilding process, your body needs the right nutrients at the right time. Here's the problem. Many people eat their biggest meal early, skip dinner, or eat a carb-heavy snack before bed. That creates 2 issues. The body lacks adequate amino acids during the night, when tissue repair is most active. Late night carbs spike insulin and block both growth hormone and fat burning. So how do we fix this? Here's a whiteboard style protocol I teach my patients. Consume your highest leucine, collagen-rich protein meal in the evening, 1 to 2 hours before bed. This ensures a steady stream of amino acids available during the most anabolic phase of your circadian rhythm. Avoid carbs and high sugar foods before bed. Why? Because insulin and growth hormone are antagonistic. If insulin is high, growth hormone gets suppressed, which means less tissue repair, less fat burning, and poor recovery. Pair your evening protein with calming nutrients like magnesium or glycine. Glycine, found in collagen and bone broth, helps lower body temperature and promotes deeper sleep, which further enhances your muscle rebuilding window. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your body like a construction site. During the day, the site is chaotic, deliveries, movement, distractions. At night, it's quiet. That's when the specialized workers come in and rebuild. But if you don't supply them with materials, high quality protein and glycine, they have nothing to work with. The result? Another night of missed opportunity. What the science shows is that eating a slow digesting leucine and glycine rich protein before bed improves overnight muscle protein synthesis and supports metabolic health. A 2012 study in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise showed that consuming casein, a slow protein, before sleep improved muscle protein synthesis in elderly subjects compared to fasting overnight. Bone broth protein behaves similarly. Without the dairy or insulin impact, here's an easy evening routine to follow. Dinner around 6 to 7 p.m. Light protein, steamed veggies, and healthy fat. Protein shake around 8:30 to 9 p.m. 1 scoop grass-fed bone broth protein plus cinnamon plus warm water or nut milk optional. Add magnesium glycinate 200 to 300 milligrams or glycine 3G before sleep to enhance recovery and sleep depth. Bonus tip, avoid alcohol. Even a small amount can block REM sleep and suppress growth hormone by over 70% for up to 24 hours. So remember, you build muscle in your sleep if your hormones and nutrition are aligned. If you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, but still waking up tired and weak, this could be your missing piece. Now, I'll give you a complete daily protocol to fight sarcopenia, combining everything we've covered so far into a step-by-step plan you can start today. At this point, you understand the what and the why. Now let's bring it all together with a practical, step-by-step daily routine you can implement immediately to reverse muscle loss and regain real strength, without drugs, extreme workouts, or synthetic supplements. This protocol is designed for people over 40, especially those experiencing early signs of sarcopenia, weaker legs, slower recovery, thinning arms, or a noticeable decline in stamina. Think of this as a metabolic muscle reset. Morning 7 to 9 a.m. metabolism and reduce cortisol. Start with 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight to reset your circadian rhythm and lower morning cortisol. Drink filtered water with sea salt and lemon to hydrate and support adrenal function. Optional, add apple cider vinegar, 1 teaspoon protein powder in mass, and prep digestion. Regenerate, metabolism. Then inject the metabolism protein powder in the mouth to support stomach acid and prep digest. Light movement, brisk walk or 10 minutes of dynamic stretching to stimulate blood flow to muscles. Midday, 12 to 2 p.m. Main protein-rich meal, 20 to 30 g of complete protein, wild-caught salmon or tempeh. Add low-carb veggies, broccoli, kale, arugula, and healthy fat, olive oil, avocado, grass-fed butter. Include leucine-dense foods like turkey, eggs, or legumes. Optional. Add betaine HCl, 1 to 2 caps if you feel full or heavy after eating. Helps digestion and protein breakdown. Movement plus muscle activation, 15 to 30 minutes of resistance training, bodyweight squats, push-ups, resistance bands, or light weights. Focus on slow, controlled reps. Post-workout, hydration plus a small leucine-rich snack. Bone broth, collagen shake, or hard-boiled eggs if needed. The recovery nutrition plus sleep prep, light dinner, steamed veggies, plus clean protein, 3 to 4 oats like salmon, sardines, or leftover lunch protein. 1 to 2 hours before bed, bone broth protein shake, 1 scoop grass-fed bone broth protein, dash of cinnamon, plus warm water or nut milk optional. Add 3G glycine or magnesium glycinate to support deep sleep and relaxation. Before bed, deep repair window, avoid screens and blue light exposure, support melatonin and HGH release, optional, sleep supplements if needed, GABA or chamomile tea, lights out by 10:30 p.m. to maximize deep, restorative sleep when growth hormone peaks. infrared sauna or Epsom salt bath, 1 to 2x/week for detox and inflammation support. Liver support foods, beets, dandelion root tea, arugula, or a gentle liver formula with milk thistle and choline. Remember, muscle building is a signal-based process. You need the right nutrient triggers, leucine, glycine, collagen, the right hormonal environment, low cortisol, insulin balance, and consistent low-impact movement to keep the signal active. When you align these elements daily, even for 2 to 3 weeks, you may start noticing better strength, improved posture, deeper sleep, and a more resilient metabolism. Let's bring everything together. We started with a surprising truth that bone broth protein, rich in collagen, specific amino acids, can be more powerful than eggs when it comes to reversing muscle loss, especially in older adults. But this isn't just about one food. This is about understanding the real root causes of sarcopenia and what's blocking your body from using protein the way it's designed to. Here's what we covered. Sarcopenia is not caused by age. It's driven by metabolic decline, low stomach acid, high cortisol, insulin resistance, and sluggish liver function all impair protein absorption and muscle building. Bone broth protein works better because it's pre-digested, easy to absorb, low in insulin impact, and rich in glycine and leucine, 2 amino acids essential for tissue repair and muscle growth. Leucine is your master muscle switch. Without enough of it, your body doesn't activate muscle synthesis, no matter how much protein you're eating. You need to hit that 2.5 to 3 G threshold per meal. Timing matters. Eating a collagen-rich protein shake before bed supports overnight muscle repair. When growth hormone is naturally elevated, this window is often missed, and reclaiming it can radically improve your results. A daily routine that aligns your meals, movement, digestion, and sleep creates the perfect environment for your body to regenerate muscle, restore energy, and age with strength. Now here's your next step. Try this tonight. Mix 1 scoop of high-quality bone broth protein in warm water with a pinch of cinnamon. Drink it 90 minutes before bed. Pair it with 5 to 10 minutes of light stretching or breath work. Then track how you feel in the morning. Stronger, deeper sleep, more stable energy. This is how real transformation starts, with one small, consistent habit. And if this video gave you something valuable, a new insight, a clear protocol, or just motivation to take your health back, I invite you to like the video and subscribe. I post content like this every day to help you optimize your metabolism, energy, and longevity naturally. You don't need medication to stay strong. You need knowledge, consistency, and the right tools. You've got this.